And so please describe to me what the aesthetic look is exactly.
Well, like this guy here.
Yeah. So we'll go ahead and bring
Oh wow, you really have to come in here?
like this guy.
Is this
No,
is this really happening? You met the other guy behind you, bro. Like I don't know what you're talking about.
I'm right into that bad boy.
You can stay right there, behind the camera, behind the camera. No, see now you got me jealous now.
That's okay.
That's not
no,
fair.
but you're more in the category like Wilfred Richter, Arnold, okay?
My man. Yeah. Arnold Ferrigno. Huh?
Okay.
Aesthetic. That's great, partner. You two ever go out place everything in its proper place?
That does not make sense, but we usually do go. We head to Kroger's, and we work.
Oh, yeah. I've got a lady waiting for me back home also. She has the most beautiful scrotum. Oh, God. And when she sings, she sounds just like a puppy dog. How do you nail a photo?
Just gotta get in the mode. You gotta talk with your eyes.
Talk with your eyes.
Talk with your eyes. You
Okay,
gotta
so
have the eyes.
can you show me a little bit of something, like to this camera? I would love to know how to do this. I just want to know.
Well,
how
I
do you do it?
mean,
Teach
the
me
smile,
something.
You can get the sexy eyes. Then you know you gotta get the smile going on some shoes, but you know.
Wait, hold up.
You got.
I gotta
when
try
it's
this.
time,
with
when,
you.
when it's
Hold
time
on.
to laugh,
I gotta try this
you gotta
with
think
you.
of something funny and start laughing.
Do it again. Do it again. How do you do it? Teach me.
Sexy eyes.
The sexy eye.
Just a sexy eye right here.
Smizing?
Smile.
So you're smizing.
Smile.
Okay.
And then you gotta get the.
No, I look like I need to take a poop or something.
Wish words were like little toy guns. No sting, no hurt, no one, just a bang, bang. Right?
Is that it?
Yeah, it's something like that. Just a bang,
Toy
bang,
guns.
rolling off your tongue.
Toy guns.
It's no smoke, no
Bang, bang.
bullets.
Water guns. All right.
Pascal, you are now rocking with that dude Pascal. We be going wild, Haitian in the building, so original. Got the haters catching feelings. Get your hands up to the ceiling and keep them held high. Cause St. Louis isn't ready. Forget about it, goodbye. Hold up, we just saying hi. Five somebody, rise up. Weekdays, catch us live. Somebody, let's go.
Good evening, everybody, and welcome to the Pascal Show. What's up, everybody? Hope you guys are having a fantastic Friday night, because we already got through the day. You know what I'm saying? Thank you to the good powers above, if you will. Thank God it's Friday. You know what I'm saying? I don't know about you, but hey, I'm happy it's Friday. You know what I'm saying? It's been a long week, very long week, but like I said, I'm very happy that the week is over. Now I can go hang out, chill with my family, chill with my dogs, chill with my girl, eat some food, Netflix and chill here in a little bit. So we have like 45 minutes to do a show today. I'm sorry, but today's a little bit shorter of a show than usual because it's Friday, y'all. It's Friday. You see what I'm saying? So good evening. First off, before I read other people's comments, good morning, good evening. Good evening, Michael D. I hope you're doing well. Mr. T12, what is good, man? Instant likes, Friday evening shows last until the morning. That's funny. Unfortunately, tonight is going to be a very, very short one. I would do that all day long and do something like super, super late. But first off, you're right. That usually the Friday night shows go on forever, like forever. But tonight, unfortunately, it's going to be a little bit shorter than usual. I will hopefully try to come on to the show or do a show tomorrow evening, all depending on how my day goes and everything. There's a lot of things that I'm trying to accomplish and finish and get prepared for Monday's show. Monday is going to be a action-packed show. There's a lot of things going on Friday's show. Monday's show. And it's a big show. And I want to do it right. And so that's why tonight's show is going to be a lot shorter and a lot smaller than usual. But I hope you guys understand that I'm trying to give you guys the best of me, the best of this show, the best quality I can give you guys now that things are kind of opened up here in St. Louis, in my state. I don't know about you guys, but today is the first day that they are going to start implementing the new restrictions due to the uptick in COVID cases. So at 10 p.m. tonight, officially, we will be rolling back our restrictions. We will be going backwards, y'all. We will be back pedaling up in this piece. So, not saying anything bad about it. If we need to do that just to make sure that no one gets sick, no one gets even more sick, something like that, I'm cool with it. I'm all down for it. I'll do whatever I need to do from myself and from the people that I love to make sure that we all Gucci. You feel me? So, anyway, hope you guys are doing well out there. Definitely comment down below and let me know that you guys are doing very well. You know what I'm saying? I'm hoping that your Friday night is doing well. There's so many different things that have happened over the course of the last few hours. And of course, we're going to jump into those things. But of course, because I'm riding solo dolo. You know what I mean? I'm riding solo. Because of that, of course, I need your help as well. So definitely comment down below if there's anything that I've missed, that you think I've missed, or maybe is a hot topic or something of that sort that we can chop up and talk about. Please feel free to comment down below and let me know. That would really, really mean a lot. For myself today, it has been a busy one. And if you're not following me on Instagram, I guarantee you're missing out on the best Instagram stories on the face of this planet. No, I'm totally kidding. But I do post a lot of my day-to-day stuff, as far as like almost like my Instagram story is almost like my own little vlog. You know, it's just kind of my day-to-day, the things I have to do, the things I do on a daily basis, including doing this show and all that. I try to showcase a little bit of that on my Instagram. So if you haven't done it yet, please go follow me on Instagram. And of course, if you haven't followed me on Twitter yet, please go follow me on Twitter. I know that there's a good amount of people, a lot of people, part of the Pascal posse, that have started to follow me on Twitter and keep sending me really great things. By the way, keep sending me those things because, I try to keep up as much as I can. But sometimes, like I said, news is happening faster than I blink my eyes. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's so damn fast that the stuff that's going on out there. You know what I mean? But, don't be shy. Definitely keep sending me information. Definitely keep sending me things. I try to keep up to date as much as I can. I also send it to my guys as well, just to make sure, that we're all up to par with everything, and to make sure that we're reading from sources that are reliable sources and all that too, because we don't want to give you no fake-ish either, y'all. You know what I mean? Tano Vane, what's up, man? Speaking of people who have been sending me stuff on Twitter, thank you, Tano Vane, for all the information that you've been giving me, because you've been giving me a lot of great stuff, and it's pretty damn dope. I appreciate the help and the effort. And because like I said, it is usually just me, Tom and Jack. Sometimes my girlfriend, actually a lot of times my girlfriend will throw me stuff as well. But it's pretty much the four of us, you know what I'm saying? Just the four of us just throwing things in. So, and sometimes we have everything spot on and sometimes we don't. It is just them are the breaks. That's just how life is. But I appreciate all the information and all that stuff. And I apologize, Tanu Vane, because I know that you sent me a bunch of stuff over like 5 hours ago, and I was in the middle of shooting something when you sent me all those tweets. So I didn't get a chance to really respond because I was on set shooting some things. But you would know if you're watching and following me on Instagram as well. So if you're on that IG, follow me on IG. It's at The Pascal Show, one word. Definitely follow me on there. You get to see all the new stuff that's going on. All the things that I got going on behind the scenes, the work I'm doing, the things that are going to be coming up very, very soon. This coming week, there's a gang of stuff that's coming. It's going to be super wild. We already have an action-packed week, and I'm only just talking about Monday, y'all. Monday is going to be huge. So I'm very excited about Monday. Actually, I'm honored about Monday. I'm very honored about what's going to happen and the people I will have on the show on Monday. And I know some of you guys have heard this this morning, but Michael D probably hasn't heard it, so I'm going to say it anyway. On Monday, I have the parents or the mother of AJ Mitchell and Sam Maria. She's the founder of an organization that's trying to find justice for the death of AJ Mitchell. They're coming onto the show live to talk about what happened to AJ Mitchell and how he passed away. He died in the hands during an altercation with cops. He died in the hands of police officers. And the thing is, the interesting twist is that he is autistic. And apparently the cops did not know that he was. And of course, there's a lot of very, very interesting information that popped up, and how they proceeded to take care of him, how they treated him throughout the entire arrest is actually mind-boggling. I was trying to say mind-blowing and mind-boggling at the same damn time, but you get what I'm trying to say. And just how things happened, what happened to him, and what they did while he was arrested is absolutely unbelievable. And the fact that that they have not picked this up as to go into investigation in regards to this situation is mind-blowing as well. So so we will be talking with the family of AJ Mitchell on Monday, and it's going to be amazing. And it's so Mr. T12, what's really funny, and you'll find out on Monday too, but I'll say it here too. There are body cam footage. There is security camera footage from the restaurant, from outside the restaurant where he was getting arrested from. And none the restaurant nor the body cam footage have been released. They have refused to release that information and that footage because they say that things are still under investigation. Now, this is something that happened over a year ago. This terrible thing that happened to AJ Mitchell happened almost over a year ago. So they're coming onto the show to try to bring awareness to his life and bring awareness to, they're trying to bring justice to his name and to his life. So they're going to be coming on to talk about all that, which I'm really, really excited about. Real talk. And it is a lot like Elijah McClain, literally, except it's a little bit different. Like the scenario was a little bit different. It wasn't him. It wasn't like AJ was walking down the street and then this terrible thing happened to him. He had an episode inside of a restaurant called Bojangles. And the people at Bojangles didn't know that he was on the spectrum. So they called the cops. Then the cops came in, didn't know that he was on the spectrum, and tried to arrest him. When they tried to arrest him, he reacted because, people on the spectrum, if you approach them in a certain way, when you try to touch them, it kind of gets them going into sensory overload, and they react in a very big way. And they'll cover their body, they'll cover their face. They start going into a fit in a way. And these cops didn't know. They just thought he was resisting arrest. Later on, now the thing is that there is camera footage. There is footage out there somewhere in the ether. Somewhere out there. And what's terrible is that there is one photo out there right now where they took a spit bag while he was face down in handcuffs. They covered his face with the spit bag. Doesn't make any sense. So the mother finally shows up to the place because they find out that, he's getting arrested. She comes up. She says, my son is autistic. My son's on the spectrum. You got to understand, this is what happens if you come at him in a certain way. He's freaking out because of that. You got to understand. So they finally relieve him, like they release him in the custody of the mother. And they had already been, during this time before the mother showed up, it was a good 15, 20 minutes of them tackling him to the ground, kneeling on him, choking him out, etc. Then finally, they release release AJ in the custody of his mother. As he goes home, as they start taking him home, because she was going to take him home to try to calm him down, and then she was going to take him to the police station where he was going to, I guess, get charged and arraigned or whatever. And he had a heart attack and died. So, now this is not a kid. This is not a person that's on methamphetamines. This was not somebody on heroin. This was not somebody on any type of drugs. This was somebody who was autistic. And the cops that were arresting him just did not understand and approached him in the wrong way. I wonder why they haven't really done anything about it in regards to having the conversation, bringing up a trial, bringing up an investigation around it. But whatever they're doing, they're trying to bury it. They're trying to bury it as much as they can. And I find that suspect is all hell. So that family and one of their representatives of this foundation that they're a part of is going to be on the show on Monday, and we're going to talk about this. We're going to do a deep dive into everything and talk about all of it. You know, get their full on opinion about everything, their perspective, because it's, you know, there's only one interview that's out there right now, and it's heart-wrenching too. It's very heart-wrenching. So that's what's going on. Bill Clinton is trending like a mug right now, y'all. I don't know if you guys know about this, but real talk. Yeah. Bill Clinton is getting some attention right now. You just want attention. You know what I mean? He's getting a lot of attention. Real talk. Jeffrey Epstein hosted Bill Clinton on his private island, documents reveal. Bruh. Okay. So, and we talked about a little bit we definitely tapped in on this morning on the morning show. So, I mean, I'm not saying anything we haven't talked about before, but we're going to talk about it right now. And also, shout out to Tano Vane for sending me more information in regards to this, because, you know, this is kind of a piece of what he sent me and a piece of this other new stuff that's going on right now. And he's trending hard on Twitter, on the twits, let me tell you. So, former President Bill Clinton, hold on, let me blow this up a little bit. Okay. Former President Bill Clinton was a guest at Jeffrey Epstein's private Caribbean island, according to testimony from an Epstein accuser, which was unsealed on Thursday. And, you know, it's been obviously like since today, all this morning, we were talking about all the things that Ghislaine Maxwell was talking about. There's all these documents that are finally starting to slowly start to come out. And one of them, of course, like we're just talking about right now, is former President Bill Clinton. So I'll continue. Virginia Guffrey, who has also accused Epstein's alleged madam, Ghislaine Maxwell, of abusing her, told lawyers in 2011 that Clinton visited Epstein's private little St. James Island with Maxwell, himself, and two young girls, in quotations, from New York. She added that Clinton stayed in Epstein's private residence on the island where, orgies were a constant thing that took place. Guffrey recalled being surprised to see the former president on the island. I would too. I remember asking, she says, I remember asking Jeffrey, what's Bill Clinton doing here? What's he doing here kind of thing? And he laughed it off and said, well, he owes me a favor. And this is something that we talked about this morning. Like, I guess I guess Epstein really got off on the idea that, and he'd like to boast and tell people that he and Clinton were friends, and he and Clinton, like Clinton owed him things. You know what I mean? So he never told me what the favors were. I never knew. I didn't know he was serious. I didn't know if he was serious. It was just a joke, she said. So I don't think it was a joke, real talk. Just about anybody would fly on his plane. Oh, so here it is. Guthrie said Clinton also traveled on Epstein's private plane and noted how other famous people, including Clinton's vice president Al Gore and models Naomi Campbell and Heidi Klum, were aboard at one point when she was. Okay. Just about anybody would fly on his plane. There was never any set routine who would come and who would go. It was an influx of people on Jeffrey's plane. This is what Virginia Guthrie said. Wow. Yeah. And there were also orgies held on Epstein's plane. Whoa. So this was like, what was the thing? Bruh. This was like that movie. What was that movie? Wolf of Wall Street type stuff, man. This is like the Wolf of Wall Street type stuff, where it's just all types of drugs and alcohol and, you know, orgies on the planes and stuff. You know what I mean? This doesn't sound like, this sounds exactly like this. You know what I'm saying? Frequently, Guthrie said she would be on the plane with Epstein and Maxwell when the sexual encounters occurred. There would be sexual conduct. There would be foreplay. There was a bed in there, so we could basically reenact exactly what was happening in the house. Wow. It would start with massaging, or we would start off with foreplay. Sometimes it would lead to, you know, orgies. You know, it's normal. The details revealed Thursday night were included in docs from a 2015 civil defamation lawsuit against Maxwell by Guthrie, ordered released by a Manhattan judge last week. So, holy God, this is crazy. Debbie, you're too much. This is crazy. So, I mean, you know, I mean, in a way, when it has to do with Clinton, I'm not surprised. And we talked about it this morning. I'm not surprised. Bill Clinton, I'm not surprised. That's not a big surprise. Al Gore, though, because I kind of agree. I'm just in a way piggybacking off of what Debbie said. I'm not trying to say it like that, but at the same time, yes, ad block. I'll tell you this. You jumped in mid conversation, but I'm sure you'll be able to catch up. So the thing is with Al Gore, I'm not surprised. Or actually, Al Gore, I am surprised. That's what I'm trying to say. Clinton, I'm not surprised. Al Gore, I'm surprised because he doesn't seem like that kind of dude. You know what I'm saying? Real talk. Tony Vaughn, what's up, man? How you doing, my brother? Thank you so much for checking us out, man. Miss you, bruh. It's been a minute. My dude, sorry I haven't watched in a while. Been crazy. How's it going, brother? Man, I'm good. I'm surviving, brother. I'm alive. I'm here. I'm kicking it. You know what I mean? It's Friday night. You know what I'm saying? So it's Friday night and St. Louis is getting shut down in T-minus 1 hour and 23 minutes. So it's kind of nutty. You know what I'm saying? It's a little nutty. Don't you think, Tony? It's crazy. Anyway, Tony's one of my boys that lives in St. Louis with me too. And he knows all about this lockdown. Not the lockdown, but the new restrictions that are being enforced, I guess, starting at 10 p.m. tonight. Anyway, Gianni Russo, actor from The Godfather, is one of Bill Clinton's party buddies. He has a ton of celebrity stories. He recently said in an interview he was with Clinton on 9/11 partying. Wow. Mr. T12, that's crazy, bruh. That's crazy. 9/11 was no fun. Woo! 9/11 was not fun at all. So I wonder what they were partying. Having a drink at home. Yeah. Debbie, you guys have been shut down too? Have you guys had to take a few steps back? Because I'm curious, because everything's getting shut down. Real talk. But anyway, so definitely let me know. But that's what's kind of going on. I mean, the Epstein thing, Bill Clinton, that story is it just keeps expanding. It just keeps going and going. Now, here's the thing. Bill Clinton has always been known as a womanizer. Okay? We've already known that. All right? So this, to me, is not a surprise. You know? Not a big surprise to me at all. Not. Nah. I'm just waiting to hear other names. I want to hear the bombshells. I want to hear surprising names. Now, I'm surprised about the Heidi Klum and the Naomi Campbell. Now, the question is, though, do they know, or were they, you know what I mean? Did they know, or do they not know? That's the question, but if they're on a plane and there's an orgy going on a plane, you damn right they know what's going on. You know what I'm saying? Like, if there's a whole bunch of young women on a plane, oh, that's so disgusting. But you know what I'm saying? Underage girls on a plane and they're doing crazy, unthinkable acts with them all together. For a fact, you're not going to sit there and go, you know what I mean? You're not going to go and turn a blind eye to it. You know exactly what's going on. Come on, man. You know what, Debbie? You're absolutely damn right. You're absolutely damn right. You know what I'm saying? Those girls were definitely for the blow. They were there for the blow. You know what I'm saying? I'm sure it was like the cleanest stuff in the world. You know what I mean? Pure as the driven snow type stuff. You know what I mean? I mean, it's Epstein, so it's probably only the best. You know what I mean? But yeah, Debbie, also, I'm reading the other thing. So you guys did start to shut down. You guys are closed. Wow, that sucks. That's wild, man. I didn't expect that. Real talk. I did not expect that. I was expecting it to be a little bit different. You know what I'm saying? Like, I thought St. Louis was one of the first places that was going to start taking, a few steps back. You know what I mean? And then other states or other cities would start to follow in suit. But I guess you guys are getting hit with the Rona like a mug too. And that sucks. That really, really sucks. And Tony, I know your bar is open. One night I'm going to have to come through, hang out. You know what I'm saying? We'll have a few drinks and laugh about everything that's going on. Man, we just need to laugh about 2020 in general. We all do. Doesn't magician David Copperfield have a sex island too? What? Oh, okay. So how long have you been shut down? I know that you're an essential worker. And I always say thank you, Debbie, for what you're doing. Real talk. You're a G. You're a true soldier. You're a true G up at this piece. But how long have you guys been closed then? Because we are starting literally in an hour and 20 minutes from now. So I'm curious. And Tony, it better be over before we know it, bruh. Like, I am so done with this year. It is crazy. But what's interesting is the truth has come to light. I'm just telling you. A lot of things are starting to just seep out. And it's crazy, man. Crazy. Now, we did talk about Ellen DeGeneres earlier today. We did. We talked about her sending out an apology to everybody because right now, her TV show, The Ellen DeGeneres Show, is under quite a heavy amount of investigation because there's been a great deal of accusations towards sexual misconduct or sexual harassment allegations, towards racial discrimination, towards just having a bad energy, negative vibes, you name it. That show's getting slapped hard in the face. So, remember what I was saying earlier today? I was like, man, it seems like they're trying so hard. They're trying so hard to take her down. Well, guess what? Ellen DeGeneres reportedly wants to end her talk show. Yes, I said it. That is very, very true, and this is literally only 4 hours old. So, Ellen DeGeneres may be tired of talking. Okay. Anonymous insiders said the longtime host of her talk show is ready to hang up her microphone in the wake of the recent allegations about toxic workplace conditions. So, they're saying that the host is telling executives at Warner Brothers and Telepictures that she has had enough and wants to walk away from the show. She feels like she can't go on, and the only way to recover her personal brand from this is to shut down the show. An insider told the outlet on Friday, whatever the outlet is. No, I'm just kidding. The truth is she knew what was going on. It's her show. The buck stops with her. She can blame every executive under the sun, but Ellen is ultimately the one to blame. Now, here's the thing. I said this on the morning show. I could not agree more. Here it is. You made the bed. You made this gigantic, unbelievably gorgeous bed. You're bringing a whole bunch of people in it. You're also lying in it. You don't think that you're going to sit there and deny the fact that you know if the bed is comfortable or not? Doesn't make any sense. If you're going to go around and, say you're the owner of a restaurant. You're the star chef of this restaurant. You don't cook as much, but you're just kind of out in the front, greeting people, talking to people, doing what you do, but they're eating your menu. And everybody, the staff, front of house and back of house, just absolutely is just vile and terrible. You're going to tell me that you're not going to know that your crew isn't getting along, or that there's trouble that there's trouble in paradise? Doesn't make any sense. So I agree with this whole thing. It's like when she put out that apology, I just feel like it's a bunch of BS, man. It's a lot of BS. It's a lot of freaking BS, in my personal opinion. You know for a fact, that's funny. That's funny, Debbie. That's an interesting thing that you just said, and I'm gonna read that out loud here in a second. But here's the thing: if you go and create a whole bunch of mess, if you create a show and there's a whole bunch of mess going on in it, wouldn't you know? Wouldn't you know what was going on? Also, I also believe in this too. I feel like the energy that is going on behind the scenes on a show or a business or anything, any business that you do, reflects solely on the leader. And if the leader is negative, everybody else is negative. If the leader is a jerk, everybody else that's hired is a jerk. Maybe there's a few good people that get hired and then they get fired because maybe they're not a jerk enough, or they just can't handle the negativity and the how bad it is out there in that atmosphere, that negative atmosphere, how toxic, as they were saying, how toxic the workplace is. If you're a toxic person, you're going to have a toxic work environment. If you're a good dude or a good human being and try to do things in a humble manner and always lead with your heart and try to be a genuine human being, I feel you'll find those kind of people that will emulate the same energy that you want the face or that you want the face of the show to be, or the business that you want to have, so that you can share that out to the world. But they're out there, for a fact, she out here securing the bag, acting like she's a nice human being when she's probably not that nice of a human being anymore, Or maybe she's just burned out and just really tired of doing the show. She could have been tired of doing the show years ago. And then maybe this toxicity started seeping in because she was just so burned out. I mean, how long can you do that for? I mean, she's been doing that show for a long ass time, y'all. Long ass time. You're telling me that she's cool with this? Still? I mean, the money's good. Don't get me wrong. You know what I'm saying? She's securing the bags, yo. But at the same time, she's probably like, I just want to do stand up. I want to be funny again. The show's not funny. I'm not saying the show isn't funny, but you know what I mean. I maybe she's like, I find joy in scaring the hell out of people and torturing my employees. That's not fun. That's not cool. Maybe. I don't know. Debbie just said, and I'm going to read yours too, Michael, but sad. I'm sure she's over the ugliness, and that's true. I'm sure that too. But she's a part of that ugliness. Let's not forget. She's a part of it. She's a part of the problem. She's not part of the solution. She would have made that solution made very, very easy, but she has not done that. And then the last part you said is give her show to Nick. And I think that's hilarious. Oh, my God. If you're saying Nick Cannon and not Nick Jonas, Nick Cannon would be amazing. I know Nick Cannon's been trying to get a talk show off the ground here. He wants to do his own talk show. But if Nick Cannon ended up having his own talk show and took over Ellen DeGeneres' slot, that would be hilarious. But you know who's going to take her slot? Do you know who's going to take her slot, y'all? I already know who's going to take her slot. It's already been pre-planned. It's already been pre-planned. Guess who's going to take over her slot. I'll wait. Blake Shelton. That's hilarious. No. She's female. But you're close. She's a few seats down from Blake Shelton. On a very popular TV show. She already has her own talk show already. Just so you know. Kelly Clarkson. They have already been in the works for this happening. I've been hearing about Ellen being let go for a long time. So apparently, Ellen's been wanting to get out of her contract for a long time. She's been wanting to get out of her show for a long time. They said, allegedly, this was going to be her last year. Kelly Clarkson started doing her show last season. All right. I think she's only in her second season of her show. Now, Kelly Clarkson started doing her show. Now, you got to remember, I mean, at that time, she's now getting divorced from her husband. But at that time, she was married to her husband, and her husband's like some big exec in a record company, And so she's got a lot of power. That's why she's on The Voice. That's why she's doing everything that she's doing now. They brought her in to do the Kelly Clarkson show because their plan was to have her go and take over Ellen. All they're going to do is click and drag her show up an hour, and that's it. Or down an hour, sorry. and that's it. They don't have to think about anything. Kelly Clarkson's done. She's already doing her show. She's already, earning her stripes, learning how to host a show, learning how to make mistakes live on the show. She obviously is a great singer. You know what I'm saying? People like her. So if she was to take, Debbie, oh man, I don't know if Nick Cannon will ever be on mainstream television anytime soon after what he said. I'm just going to keep it straight funky with y'all. After what he said, he really shot himself in the foot. That's the unfortunate situation here. He shot himself in the foot 15,000 times. And I'm sorry, I don't know if white America is going to appreciate him right now. Yes, he is a great host. Yes, he's very talented. Yes, he has that crossover appeal, that mainstream appeal. But at the same time, when he said those things that he said a couple weeks ago, he really screwed the pooch, man. He shot himself in the foot hard. He will bounce back. It's not like he's not going to bounce back, but he ain't going to have a TV show on Channel 5 anytime soon. No offense, but middle America will not rock with him on a daytime show where he's trying to do a Steve Harvey type of thing. Hell to the no. I wish it was true. I wish he didn't say those things that he said, because I think that he would have a very strong chance. But right now, man, he's in a tug of war trying to get his Wildin' Out TV show. He's trying to get the ownership back of his Wildin' Out show. Like he's in the middle of a whole bunch of stuff. He's going to be a little occupied for a little bit here. He needs to hide out for a second. Keep his mouth shut and hide out. It's an unfortunate situation. It's unfortunate. Put Steve back on. I think here's the thing. I love Steve, but I don't know if I don't know. I wasn't really feeling him as a talk show host. That's just me though. I think he's great. I think he's a great host. I think he's a great host, but I don't know if he is. I don't know. I don't know if he's right for that. I think he let go because of a good for a good reason. And Michael D, you're absolutely right. You're absolutely right. That's the reason why Nick Cannon's not going to be able to be on any type of mainstream TV for a while. He could have a TV show on, let's just say, HBO, Cinemax, Showtime, Stars, maybe, Epix, but I don't think he's going to be on Channel 5, KSDK or like NBC anytime soon. Just being completely straight funky with you. It's really unfortunate, but yes, he mentioned Louis Farrakhan. He won't be accepted by 80% of America, and that's figgity facts, baby. He shouldn't have said what he said. Like, I get you have your opinions, but there are certain things that you just keep behind closed doors, and then there's things that you say on the microphone. And those things that he said were not things that you say on the microphone. That's when people get confused. That's when people look at you in a different way. He could go on Real Time. That's very, very true. He could go there. What? Okay, I'm looking at that. I'll check this out. But anyway, for the last few minutes of our conversation. Okay. What? Okay, children may carry coronavirus at high levels, studies find. This is on this is New York Times. Okay. The research does not prove that infected children are contagious, but it should influence the debate about reopening schools, some experts say. It's been a comforting refrain in the national conversation about reopening schools. Young children are mostly spared by the coronavirus and don't seem to spread it to others, at least not very often. But on Thursday, a study introduced an unwelcome wrinkle into this smooth narrative. Infected children have at least as much of the coronavirus in their noses and throats as infected adults, according to the research. Indeed, children younger than 5 may host up to 100 times as... Hold on. Hello. You're on the mic with the Pascal Show. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Pascal, this is Mike Henry. How are you, sir?
What's up, man? I was just in the middle of reading your article that you just sent.
That's neat. I wasn't watching your live stream. That's just coincidental that I called in. Thank you for taking my call.
Hey, no problem, man. So come on, man. Tell me what's on your mind. Speak on it.
All right. I'll reframe what I emailed you, a little bit of background about myself.
Yeah.
I am a behavior specialist in public education. I have studied administration to try to understand the school system as a whole. I feel like I have a moderate to informed understanding of the way things work, the relationship between the Texas Education Agency and the governor's office, and then local entities. And it's a very interesting time, my friend. What's going on in Texas specifically, and hotspots in Texas, because it's a very large state, and each county has different needs and demands. Some are suffering the coronavirus in a totally different dimension than other areas. And so I happen to have moved home to take care of my mother. And she is a cancer patient and Alzheimer's patient. So that's been a transition. Came home immediately when the virus broke out. But as a public education servant, basically, what I consider myself, the nature of the work that I do, not to toot my own horn, but to try to convey to the audience who is calling in to speak with you, is someone who has dedicated their life completely in service to people with disabilities. And for what it is a challenging wage to make ends meet with, my wife does the same. My wife does the same thing, and so we're a family who's committed to education, and we are, aspiring for our children to go to good colleges. Yeah. We want the best for everybody in our community. And so a person who's calling in right now is calling in with goodwill. And what I suggest that we do is talk about the challenges of reopening schools, as well as the challenges with the delay of reopening schools, because it's a very hot topic right now. Yes. It affects everyone. It affects the parents. It affects different communities in different ways. And so if you want to start looking up some articles while I talk, why don't you look up an article about the difference between Bel Air in Houston and Gulfton in Houston, Gulfton. F-T-O-N. F? Yeah, like the Gulf of Texas, Gulfton, T-O-N.
Oh, T-O-N.
And two adjoining communities, and the article is going to outline, I thought it was a decent article. I read it quickly several days ago, but what I thought it outlined was the impact of this virus on different communities based on socioeconomic factors. People living very close together. It impacts people in apartments, areas where there are a lot of apartment complexes, areas that are nutritional deserts. And the populations that I serve and my wife serves in the public education sector is we work in Title I schools where more than 50% of students qualify for free or reduced lunch based on the parents' living wage, which is typically at or below the poverty line. And so, Pascal, is it Pascal or Pascal?
This Pascal. Pascal.
Pascal. Cool. And just my name is Michael Henry.
Michael Henry.
H-E-N-R-I. Yeah. I go by Mike, though. You can call me Mike.
Okay.
But my motivation in calling in is to investigate with you through maybe a couple articles. How much time do we have?
Not a whole lot, but I was actually
Frame
doing
it for me. Do I have 5 minutes? Do we have 3 minutes?
Yeah, you got. I'll give you 15. Okay, because I know that this is a pretty big convo. So 15.
For sure. Well, like we said earlier, it impacts everybody and in different ways. And so if you want to start out with the article, as the national dialogue about reopening schools ebbs and flows, and the very interesting government reactions from the Department of Education, Nancy DeVos, who has been criticized greatly for assuming that role with lack of in the trenches experience in either the public school sector or in any school setting or even in the classroom. And so they're usually people who rise to the ranks of any element of state government, they tend in a meritocracy to be based on merit and experience. That's what you hope for, right? That there are a lot of arguments right now that meritocracy is failing for a lot of reasons, but the cronyism that got someone like Nancy DeVos in the Department of Education to make, blanket statements and reverse them throughout the entirety of this process. We've gotten lots of mixed messages in Texas from the federal and state and local levels, especially in hotspots like Houston, Texas. And so my personal perspective on this, as a person who has moved home to take care of moms and dad and make sure that they don't get COVID, make sure that everything keeps going and, assume a new job, I call up, the local school district and I get hired to be behavior specialist at the largest middle school in Texas. Not exaggerating. Enrollment of 1,800.
Wow.
And so I'm faced with a personal dilemma that living with immune compromised people who fall into categories of highly susceptible in the death rate for it's bananas. This is just wiping out the elderly, and it's a personal responsibility in my mind to make sure that ultimately I make decisions about my involvement in public school. But this is my living, and so pivoting and just like doing something else when what I'm trying to do right now is be intrepid and to build like a voice and be able to somehow be in broadcasting in some way, because I'm looking for some type of backup, because it's not safe for me to go into a public school. Thankfully, I feel like the district I work for, Houston ISD, shows exceptional leadership, and that our local level government, Judge Lena Hidalgo, the superintendent and the board of Houston ISD are acting very responsibly, and they are making data-driven decisions, which is extremely important. And so instead of like raising a bunch of false alarm at this time, although I am so concerned about accidentally becoming infected, if you look at that article from the New York Times, that just broke. Pascal, why don't I take a break for a second and you overview that article for your viewers real quick?
Yeah, hold on one second. I got to find it again because I just...
Sure.
Where the heck did it go? Damn, bro. I just had it, and now it's gone. Hold on, give me 2 seconds.
Okay, well, let me just summarize it. It was saying that the amount of coronavirus that is found in samples from children's noses when they are swabbed is as high as any other age group.
Yes.
And so when they talk about they don't have studies specifically about the contagion rate. Is, I believe, what they said in the article, and because of that, they can't make definitive statements that say that children are as contagious as other age groups, right?
Yeah.
And so from like, I'm very thankful that we've had this time extended to us to start the year, like 6 to 8 weeks later as far as face-to-face, but that we are currently slated to face-to-face, you know? And so
Right.
I face quite a dilemma. Like, I can't go get infected with COVID, even if it won't really affect me that badly, most likely based on what is happening to other people my age with my factors.
Right.
If I transmit it to people who I'm living with, who I'm like responsible for as like the son who takes care of your parents, like, it puts me in such a dilemma where the idea of being like in a position where I have to do that, or I have to take this exceptional skill set that I've worked hard at for 20 years to like become very good at working with kids with disabilities like emotional disturbance and behavior support for children with autism,
Yeah.
to be able to be included and be successful and have great days in the classroom with everyone else. And so the inclusion model is effective, and to create a situation where I would rather be working diligently to figure out how through online systems to make meaningful connection on a daily basis to support these kids than worried and focused about what happens after 6 weeks. So like the hardest part for some of us is to wait out the next step, you know, and figure out what we're going to do, because I mean, it's already a hard living to begin with. And then if you have one person down already and they're not going to end up being able to work just because of health factors, and then it's just you got to kind of like choose what you're going to do. And it's really challenging. So that's one perspective. On the other perspective, there's so many people out of work right now, man. That's like beyond teachers, like people who, with all the closures and challenges, and they are frustrated because they don't feel like they're getting accurate, up-to-date science that backs up the decisions to shut down their businesses. And they're coming up with like all kinds of alternatives that stretch into the current boundaries that are set for like public interaction and stuff, but still involve like alcohol and being out in the streets.
Yeah.
There's all kinds of, it's risky behavior, even if you're wearing masks and stuff. And so, just, you know, if you look at the coronavirus map, that second article, dude.
Yeah.
If you look at the coronavirus map, there's an awesome, I think it's Houston Chronicle, for any Houston viewers that are out there randomly. They have a coronavirus map, but it really does outline the challenge of this virus, and is that it is impacting specific socioeconomic factors, and by proxy of the socioeconomic situation in Houston, Texas, it impacts Hispanics and African Americans at an inequitable level to other areas. The area I live in on the map is almost empty of stripes or shading, but the areas adjacent to it are dark with lots of imaging that shows that it's a very high rate of transmission in that area. And so it's very concerning to me, because the exact group of children who require support to be successful in school, they need to be there face to face. No teacher who's worth their salt is saying kids would be better off with online. We're not there yet, you know. But anywhere we're not there yet, because it takes the human connection is so much more important. And also there are arguments against not reopening or delaying reopening because of the rates of child abuse that occur, because they aren't connecting with teachers every day, and teachers aren't figuring it out, reporting it to CPS.
Or they're in harm's way a lot. They're put in harm's way a lot. And then, of course, with the parents, not making any money, or that the stresses of not bringing home the bacon could cause them to be a lot more violent and a lot more frustrated, and put that frustration out on their children for sure too. So then let me ask you this then, because you did say a bunch in there, and mad respect for you saying all that you're saying, and of course mad respect for doing what you are doing, because there's not a lot of people out there that have the wherewithal to do what you do, you know what I mean? And there's people like Debbie, for example, that that are in the front lines and dealing with dealing with the coronavirus in their own way as well. You know what I mean? So then let me ask you this. In regards to school, because you're talking about school, you said a lot of different things, but mainly it's about schools reopening and all that. What are your thoughts on that? Do you think that the procedure that they're doing right now is the right procedure, or do you think that we need to hold off, do the virtual teaching until we have a vaccine? What do you think is the right way?
To reiterate about Houston ISD's successful partnership with local government and making data-driven decisions that are made in sequences of time that aren't always comfortable for everyone involved, but at the same time, they aren't saying we're closing for an entire semester when they don't know yet that it's necessary, but they do know that it is necessary to prevent face-to-face openings in this county, because it's like the biggest outbreak county in Texas, that the requirement to go virtual only for the first 8 weeks, I believe. It could be 6. I think the state mandated 6 finally, and I think Houston was at 8. But I think they're doing an exceptional job, but there is a necessary uncomfortableness about the chunks of time between updates for people, because when they're making data-driven decisions, data evolves so rapidly in the sciences that study coronavirus trends in treatment and in outbreak, and the response evolves so rapidly that they've gotten to a point where it seems to them to be appropriate to update everybody and keep them informed about the next step of continuing virtual for 6 more weeks. You know, they're phasing it in, like in the grading cycles of 6 weeks or 9 weeks. So I wouldn't be surprised if there's at least one more, is what I'm predicting. But that would be based on data. And I do take comfort in the fact that my district is going to be doing that, although it is uncomfortable to have to wait for new updates and figure out what comes next when you're a person who's in my position. But there are sensational things going on about like teacher strikes that could be looming, and to be able to predict what is going to happen in that direction in states like Texas, where teachers don't really have the right to strike. We are not allowed to, or we will lose our license to teach, I think, for at least 1 year. And that is troubling, because then it's a real rock and a hard place, because they typically require you to resign 45 days before the first day of instruction.
Yeah.
And so that, because it puts them in a predicament to hire somebody new, teacher interest rates in continuing in this field of work were already hard to sustain. And if in areas other than Houston where there is some irresponsible leadership, I don't have any specific fingers to point, but I know they're out there.
Yeah.
People who are just kind of gung ho and jumping in head first. Just err on the side of caution, and that if you're making data-driven decisions, then you will feel safe protecting your community and making wise decisions. But I really appreciate you taking my call, man. It's kind of interesting to talk publicly, and you have to not think about it. Like the parts of the conversation where I was just talking to Pascal, for me, were like very comfortable, and then for some reason I started thinking about the fact that there's people out there listening and it's being recorded. It's being recorded, and you have to watch your words very closely. It's an interesting, like, you're a brave soul. I guess you probably get desensitized to it and used to it. But good job to you. I've liked some of the work you've done.
Thank you, brother. I really, really appreciate it. Real quick, because I know that I know that you are obviously a behavior specialist in the public school sector, as you said earlier. You are home. You went back home to take care of your mother. How's your mother doing, by the way? Is she doing all right?
I'll tell you what. Your question was, how's my mom doing?
Yes.
Man, thank you so much for asking.
Anytime, brother.
I would encourage anyone, any son, any daughter-in-law and family who are able to support their elderly family during this time in any way you can. Not everybody can just like move home or transition that quickly. Some people have a lot that they can't walk away from, you know, if they're making a decent living or whatever, but some careers are more transitional. And for those people who can, or even just increase their communication with their parents, ask how they can be helpful, figure out how they can make their resources available to them, whether it's even just assistance with their, you know, whatever, helping them fix their cell phone. I encourage anybody to reach out to moms and pops, because the reward that I've gotten in this trying process of seeing how dedicated to my family my wife is, my daughter is, who came with me, to see how dedicated to my family I am, and also how dedicated they are to me. It's been a really touching experience. My mom has put on upwards of 17 pounds. Right now we're at about 13 plus from when we got there. But that's all muscle, man. I'm grilling every day for her. We're cooking a steak, you know.
That's great, man.
Fajitas. Yeah, she's doing really good. And all her blood numbers are really good, too. So I would say that overall she has done an extraordinary job.
Yeah.
Getting with the program with us and eating up and going to the doctor every day, you know, doing what she needs to do.
That's excellent, man. I'm really happy that's the things are turning around into positive. You know, your presence there taking care of your mom is a good thing. You know what I mean? And that's beautiful, man. You know, I'm happy to hear that.
Thanks, man.
One more question, because somebody just commented, and I do want to ask this question real quick, and we can tie this up in a bow real quick. But to Doogie just said something that caught my eye. I like this comment. He said, I just look at the MLB. There was a big push to go forward. Now there are some cases and now big delays. I think schools is going to be the same. What are your thoughts on that?
I think it's a great point, and that the collateral damage involved are human lives, many of which won't be in the schools, but will be people who are in the schools having contact with. And it will depend on the area. Specifically, it will depend on the data available. And there are times, Pascal, when there is not adequate data to be able to make an informed decision. And in those times, I always pray that people just err on the side of caution and be wise and think about your community and think about the challenges you would face. Talk to your friends, ask them if they know anybody who's impacted by COVID. I'm starting, you know, just kind of like moving home and talking with old ladies up and down the block. Talk to old people, they talk about who's dying. Young people don't always talk about their nana dying, but if you ask enough people, you'll figure out that it's definitely a real thing. It's definitely a challenge, and that data-driven decision making and listening to local authorities and community authorities making wise decisions based on data, it's really going to work out. We just have to stay optimistic. And like I said, like you can take my story. I know it sounds like someone kind of tooting their own horn, but there are good things happening right now. There are families coming together tighter. There's people who are healing and like getting better. Things are getting better. But if you watch this news cycle close enough, it can really freak you out. So taking breaks from that, it's not a bad idea, folks.
Yeah, that's true.
Except the Pascal Show. Always tune into the Pascal Show.
Always tune into the Pascal Show, because we're always trying to say or do something positive or fun on the show for sure. That is a guarantee. Hey, my brother, Michael Henry, thank you so much for being on the show. And thank you so much for calling in. I'd love to have you on sometime, maybe do a FaceTime type of thing, Skyping in, like, and just, talking with you about these things. Because I know that not only myself, but there's a lot of people that have a lot of questions, and I'm sure you have some insight in those things. You know what I mean? So it'd be great to have you on.
I appreciate it.
Yeah, man.
I'll keep my eye on the news cycle, and when something that I think is relevant comes up, or it pairs with something else that I've learned about the situation, we can reiterate any of these points, or we can talk about other things in public education.
Yeah,
Be
man.
happy to.
Let's talk. All right, man. I'll talk to you soon. Thank you so much for calling. All right. Peace.
Thank you.
Oh, well, big shout out to Michael Henry for calling in. I really appreciate that. That was really, really fantastic. It's nice when people call in that are specialized in things like that. It's really, really great. Not going to lie. I really do appreciate that. But anyway, unfortunately, guys, that wraps up the show. That's basically all I can do tonight. But I will be on. I will be on tomorrow, a little bit later on in the evening. So be on the lookout for that. I don't know what time I'll be on, but I'll make sure that I say that in the community section on my YouTube page. And of course, if you haven't done that yet, hit that subscribe button. That would really, really mean a lot. I do have some clips from this morning's show already out, like the interview with the gentleman that was heroic and pulled that man out of a burning car. It was a very nice and uplifting conversation. You need to go and check that out, definitely. And of course, there's going to be more stuff popping up here very, very soon. But anyway, I appreciate everybody who tuned in, called in, and all that. Have a great rest of your night, guys. Be sure to Netflix and chill the hell out of this Friday night. All right? Anyway, be good to yourselves. Be good to one another. And I'll see you guys tomorrow evening. This is The Pascal Show. Oh, and go and call your mom. All right? Bye.